Hey y'all, I'm Beth. Welcome back to my channel. Today is one of the most anticipated videos that we planner people do every year, and that is my planner lineup for 2025, my Techo Kaigi, so to speak. And I'm going to go ahead and do this by brand, starting with things that are carrying from one year to the next. So they're ongoing projects. The journals, the planners, they're not changing. And we're going to go ahead and start with my dream journal, which is my one and only Hobonichi, and that is the Hobonichi 5-year Techo. So this one is a 2024 to 2028. It's an A5, or what Hobonichi calls their large size. It has 3.7 millimeter Tomo River graph paper. It is subtle cream colored. Let me flip back to where I know I don't have an entry that is very personal. There's 752 pages. There are some bonus pages at the back, like a yearly memo page, a remember this page, gifts, addresses, my lists, my favorite things, that kind of stuff. And I chose this as my dream journal because sometimes you have a dream that you remember barely anything in, and sometimes you have a dream that you remember like lots in. And I felt like I needed this page on the odd occasion. So most of the 5-year journals, this one would be, say, November 22nd, would have the 5 years, and then they would all have November 23rd and the 5 years. And the Hobonichi has this extra page that you can do whatever you want with it. You can draw something out, you can elaborate on a said dream, so to speak. What I did find out this year in keeping a dream journal, and many of y'all who've been here for a minute know I had a really difficult summer with my bipolar disorder, went through a little bit of a depression. I'm a very vivid dreamer until I'm depressed, and then I don't dream a whole lot. So I have not a lot of entries from like late May, June, July, and part of August. And it's been interesting to see what I remember, what I don't remember. But again, those things are all extremely personal, so we're going to leave them in here. But I just wanted you to know that I am still using the Hobonichi 5-year for my dream journal. It'll be even more interesting next year when I start doing entries for 2025 to see if I'm dreaming on the same nights of the year. Wouldn't that be fun? It was just one of those things that I thought, if I'm going to keep an analog dream journal, I'm going to do it in a 5-year and just see how it goes. Just see how it goes. So that is what we are using for our dream journal. It stays in my nightstand. Most of the time I do wake up and dictate something into my phone, because if I start doing anything else, I'll forget bits and pieces, and then I'll come back and transcribe what I need to transcribe from the phone into the dream journal. Okay, we're going to move on to, again, by brand, we're going to switch over to Archer and Olive. And this is what I call my weekender journal. So this time last year, I was planning a trip to Denver to see Queen. And that is one of the things that I documented in here because it was a long weekend. So I had some other things in here, places I wanted to go, packing lists, that sort of thing. This was my journaling for Denver. And I named it the Weekender Journal, knowing that I don't necessarily have the resources to get away a whole lot. And so sometimes I thought I could come in here and put in things in and around my hometown of Little Rock, Arkansas that I'm doing as well. And so this also has sort of my reflection for the eclipse that happened in April. And I actually it's blank after that. I've got a whole bunch of stuff shoved into the pocket back here for a couple of other things that I need to back plan or back memory plan, so to speak. But this is my weekender journal. So it's, it's like an event/travel journal if I do take travel. It is an Archer and Olive traveler size, which is a 4.33 inches by 8.25 inches. This is the Globetrotter notebook from the fall 2022 collection, so it's not currently available unless they decide to bring it back and add it to their everyday essentials. This is a vegan leather cover. It's 160 GSM bright white dot grid paper. There's 144 pages, 2 bookmarks, back pocket, and pin loop. All of the things that the Archer and Olive brand is known for. But again, it's something that's just carrying over. It's certainly not a day-to-day journal. This isn't something that I am touching all of the time, but I just want to remember those short weekend things that come and go in our lives. Next up for Archer and Olive is reading adjacent. So this is my first lines journal. I like to write down the first line of every book that I read. I'm just fascinated by what an author chooses to make the first bit of their book and try to hook the reader. I was keeping first lines in my reading journal, and it was getting a little bit too crowded, and then I also liked the idea of keeping them in a collection all unto themselves. So this is an A5 dot grid notebook. It's 5.75 inches by 8.25 inches. It's the Buckram notebook from the September 2023 Vintage Library subscription box. So again, it's also not available for regular purchase. This is a coated cotton cover. And then we have the same features as the Traveler's Notebook, 160 GSM bright white paper. This one's got 190 pages, 2 bookmarks, back pocket, pin loop. And we are getting ready to hop into 2025, so I'll make a new cover page. So I have in here a cover page for 2024. You know, my theme for my reading this year was the Grimm's Fairy Tales. And then I have the first lines of my books. And at some point, I'll come back in here into the white pages and we'll set up a cover page for whatever my theme is going to be for 2025 and just keep carrying those first lines until this journal is full. And then I'll archive it, put it on a shelf, a special place on the shelf, and start another one for my first line. So again, reading adjacent, which leads us into my reading journal. And my reading journal, again, is an Archer and Olive, and it is this gorgeous dark teal notebook. This is the Meteor Shower from the 2024 Beyond the Sea collection. Again, it's a traveler's notebook. Dimensions are same as my weekend journal, 4.33 inches by 8.25 inches. This is a fine cotton cover. It feels so good. And then again, we have all of the same features. When it comes to Archer and Olive, I always go with the white paper, never the craft, never the black. So just file that away in your noggin when it comes to Beth's purchasing preferences from Archer and Olive. So it has 160 GSM bright white paper, 144 pages, 2 bookmarks, back pocket, and the pin loop. So that's 3 Archer and Olives in my lineup. This is the one that I'll be in most often, documenting my reading for the year. I am an Archer and Olive affiliate, so you can get 10% off if you use the code BEYOND10, BEYOND10, at Archer and Olive if you want to make a purchase in the future. Okay, now that those are out of the way, we're going to go to a couple of surprises or experiments, or I don't know what we're going to call them, but one of those is just a good old writing journal. Just a good old journal with lined pages that I can write out my thoughts. This is an A5 writing journal that I did purchase off of Amazon. It's 5.9 inches by 8.5 inches. It's wine red with the sun and moon design. This does come in 7 other colors. It's a leather hardcover with 360 pages. Now, it didn't specifically state the paperweight. If I had to guess, I'd say it's about 100 GSM. It's light cream paper. It does have a pen holder. It did come with this pen. So it's the only reason this pen is in the video is because it came with this journal, and I wanted y'all to know what came with the journal. This is my pen test for this pen. It literally just says this is the pen that came with the journal. It does have a back pocket. It does have an elastic closure, and it also has 2 bookmarks. The only thing about the bookmarks that irritate me is that one of them is brown. Like, one of them is kind of silvery colored, but one of them is brown, and I'm like, this is burgundy and reddish, and you gave me a brown bookmark. It's fine. The only other thing that kind of gets to me is that it does have these extra wide lines, which isn't my favorite. So back in school days, when you're picking up your paper to stick in your binders and all of that, I was not a wide rule paper person. I was a college rule paper person for sure. So we will see how this goes. It does have 3 little icons for you to choose the weather for the day that you're journaling. It also has where you can circle the day of the week. You could give it a memo number if you want to give it a memo number, and then there's a place for you to put the date. Now, talking about long form journaling, I tried to pick up long form journaling again this year. I purchased one of the Sterling ink notebooks, so it's just straight dot grid. And I discovered that that's just not the best format for me because the grid is so small and I just wasn't enjoying long form journaling in that particular format. And then as far as long form journaling in general, I used to be an extreme long form journaler, and I stopped in another lifetime when I was married because I didn't want my husband to read my journals. And don't get me wrong, he is not a shit person. It was just not a great marriage. It's when I stopped. I just stopped. And at the time, we didn't necessarily have all the digital tools that we have available to. We had a lot of them, but not all of them, like encrypted journal apps on phones and that sort of thing. So it's taken a long time to get back into the habit of long form journaling, and I've not been very successful at it. We're going to try again. I just feel like my brain needs it. So we're going to give it another go. And that's what this is for. And I might succeed and I might not succeed. I don't know, but don't plan on seeing this because, again, this is going to be for me to work out all of the shit in my noggin. This is going to be very, very private. I just wanted to let y'all know that I was going to be using it. And if you're interested in long form journaling, maybe you need to separate it from other things. Maybe you need to separate it from your digital tools, separate it from your bullet journal, separate it from your planner. All of that. I know a lot of people who bullet journal who keep all of it in the same one. They keep their long form journaling, their regular bullet journaling, and they go through a journal every 2 months or something. But I don't think that's for me, at least not yet. So this is what we're going to try for long form journaling. And another wild card, so to speak. If you're into any kind of witchy things, you're looking at this going, I know what that is. And this is a Leather Village A7 vintage leather journal. It's handmade. It's 5 inches by 7 inches, so it's a little bit smaller than an A5. This is the fuchsia. It also comes in green and brown. It has, like I said, it's handmade, so it has a handmade cover and handmade paper. So we're going to unwind our key closure here so that you can see the handmade paper. And there you go. And it's set in different sections. It's going to give it room to grow if I get all ephemera heavy in it. And this is essentially going to be a spiritual journal. And for me, it's kind of a Book of Shadows type of feel. I anticipate putting thoughts in regard to spiritual practice in here. I anticipate putting sigil designs in here. I don't really know what all is going to happen in this journal. Again, the paper is natural. It has this key wrap closure. It's 260 pages. The vintage paper style is 100 GSM. I'm thinking I might actually start this at Samhain in 2024 and carry it through the full wheel of the year, or start it at Yule. Not quite sure, but I'll probably start it before 2025 actually gets here. And let me know if you want to see what's going on in this journal, or, I might just keep it to myself. We're going to jump brands again. This is the Bullet Journal Pocket, which, as you can see, is super tiny. It's 10.5 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters. It's an A6 soft cover. Now, when you turn it this direction and open it up, it is the size of one page of an A5. So if you put another one here, you'd have an A5 journal. When you purchase the Bullet Journal Pocket, it comes in a pack of 3. So you do get more than one. And it is, let's just open it up. It has 80 GSM cream paper, 46 numbered pages. Your numbers are here. It does have the smart dot grid that the official bullet journal is known for. So you can see here there's some tinier dots closer together that show you where the center of this page is. And the pages are also perforated. So with only 46 pages, I have been experimenting here in the back half of 2024 with using this as my wellness journal. And there's a couple of reasons that I chose this for that purpose. One is that it is small enough to either tuck into the back of a normal bullet journal or to tuck into a pocket of, say, a Moterm cover, which I'm currently using in my Sterling Ink Common Planner. It fits right in, doesn't make anything big and bulky, and that way the wellness data that I'm keeping in here, I can take this out separately and take it to my doctor. I can take it to my psychiatrist. They can look at my record of my blood pressure over the course of this month, or what I've been eating, or any of those sorts of things. So that's why I have chosen this as my wellness journal, is mainly to pull it out, keep it private, but be able to hand it off to a clinical physician and go, here you go, this is my document of what my month has looked like. Or take all three of them in a row and say, this is my wellness history as of today. And like I said, I'm experimenting with it. I'm trying to find the layouts that work best for me before I get to 2025. I don't currently have a planned setup video for my pocket wellness journal. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see what that looks like and how I'm tracking those things. I plan to continue this experiment into 2025 and try to get this refined into a wellness journal that works for me and can also provide some of the historical data that sometimes a physician may ask for, and you have it right there on your person because it's so easy to carry around. Speaking of the bullet journal, this is the artist's edition for 2024. The cover was designed by Sarita Walsh. It's an A5 dot grid journal, so it's 5.7 inches by 8.3 inches. It's a limited edition, one-time print. It came in a collectible box. It has 120 GSM light cream paper, 204 pages. The bullet journal pocket guide that comes with every single one of their journals, as well as the holographic foil sticker set. I do love that normally it's copper to match the colors of the normal bullet journal, but they did change it to holographic foil to match this cover. Now, normally the bullet journal edition has a bullet journal written right here. They did take that off. It does have the little lightning bolt though, which hides underneath this strap. If you notice that when I had it on there. So if you've got the strap in the right spot, that little bullet journal symbol hides underneath the strap. It still does have bullet journal written right here. And when you open it up, it's a full panorama design, which I really love. So again, this is the official bullet journal. It's got 2 bookmarks. It's got a back pocket. It's got all of those sorts of things. And right now, this is a wild card. We're talking about it because I was going by brand. So we talked about the pocket. Here is the official bullet journal. First of all, it's just stunning. I kind of felt like I had to have it. But it came at a good time because if you've been here a really long time, you know that I used to have a personal bullet journal and a work bullet journal. And the reason that those two were separate is because for 15, 20 years now, I have worked for some type of government agency, not the same one, but I have worked at state universities. I have worked for the city of Little Rock. I have worked, anyway, here in the United States, when you work for a government agency, everything we do is subject to the freedom of information, which means all of the events that I plan, someone could come along if they had some sort of grievance with an event that I had or what they thought went down in an event that I had, and ask for all the planning documents. They could ask for all my emails. They could ask for my event plans. They could ask for all of that stuff to be printed out. And that includes anything you write down, which is why I've always separated my personal planning from my work planning. At one point in time, I moved all of my work planning with the current organization that I'm with into Microsoft Office products, Teams, Planner, To-Do, Outlook, all of those things. I'm not loving it, y'all. I kind of hate it. And it's not working for me right now, or I'm not using it as efficiently as I could be using it. There's a lot of questions there. And I'm starting to think that maybe I need to reincorporate my work into my bullet journal system. The decision has to be made. Do I add it in to what I'm currently using? So in 2024, I've got everything in a Sterling Ink Common Planner, or do I, going into 2025, separate it back out and have work personal like I do now, but just take work back into analog? This may be for that purpose. This may not be for that purpose. I haven't made a decision, but we're going to call it my wild card. This is my wild card. I did buy it thinking about possibly having a work bullet journal again. And I don't like carrying 2 notebooks. I'm going to say that right out loud. But I've also, like I said, been working for a government agency of some kind since, 2006? Is that right? Probably. And not once has my stuff been requisitioned in an FOI. The moment that I get comfortable and start putting it in with all my personal stuff, I think would be the moment that it happened, right? Like, you just never know. So don't have any immediate plans for this, but I wanted to share it because it's beautiful. And yeah, you might see it sometime in 2025. And that leads us to my everyday carry. That leads us to what am I going to be using as my bullet journal for 2025. And I am staying with the Sterling Ink Common Planner, but I am making a change. So this is the A5 full year horizontal, with little H, Common Planner. It is mulberry colored with white edges. So it's 5 7/8 inches by 8 1/4 inches. I actually really wanted the 2 planner set for half year, January to June, July to December. That one didn't come in the mulberry color. So I had to make a decision. Did I care more about half year, or did I care more about the mulberry color? And eventually the mulberry color won. I just had to make a decision and go with it. So this is a soft cover. It is the 52 GSM Sanzen Tomoe River paper. It is in white. The grid size is 3.7 millimeters by 3.9 millimeters. It does lay flat with minimal training. I've already played around with it. It has a Monday start, no holidays, no moon phases, and a minimalistic design. And that's why I chose it for 2024, although I had a vertical. So the difference here is that in the horizontal, you have your days of the week on the weekly pages here, and you have a full page on the right. Those of you who watch my weekly plan with me know that in the vertical, you've got your Monday through Sunday, and I've been blocking off the bottom as a blank space for me to write my weekly reflections. Well, this is going to give me space for that. That's why I made that decision for now. I've also decided I don't really love vertical planning. I went all in. I've stuck with it for a whole year, y'all. You should be proud of me for definitely giving it its due. And it is not for me. It's just not something that I want to do. So there will be a full setup video for this coming out fairly soon. There'll be a setup video, and there's going to be a decorate video. We're going to decorate the cover. So we'll have a decorate with me video. I don't know how long that one will be. We'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, so the Sterling Ink Common Planner is again going to be my everyday carry for 2025. Unless something radical happens, this is definitely the one that we are going to go with. I'm not going to bring everything back into screen, but we'll kind of go with a color wave. So there is a few of the journals that represent my 2025 planner and journal lineup. If there's anything specific you want to see in any of these journals, please let me know down in the comments below. Please make sure you are subscribed because Planmas is coming. We are going to have a different video every day of the month from the 1st through the 25th. We're going to take you through Christmas with all kinds of great planner related things. with Beth and Beyond, everything from my Sterling Ink Common Planner to my reading journal to my Elemental Life operating system. There's a lot coming at you in December. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.